So, hi everybody, I'm Sonny. I'm happy to be here with you today, and I'm so excited. We're doing just a fun, easy craft project, and it is our little turkey silverware holder. I think this is the sweetest thing, and you actually just put your silverware right up in here, and the turkey's going to hold it right there for you. Isn't this really, really cute? I see some of you are coming from Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, lots of different places. So please say hi to us. Let us know where you are. Monet is here helping me today, as well as Ilsa. And so, if you have any questions, certainly Monet is going to be putting things in the chat. She's also going to put the instructions for the turkey. And also it's kind of two separate pieces. So we also have all of and pardon me, guys, I'm going to go right into the camera because we also have the different pieces that you're going to cut out. So there are two really separate entities, the instructions and then these pieces here. So this is what you're going to need for sure to create your little turkey holders. So are you guys all ready for the holidays? On Thanksgiving and all the fun fall festivities that are going on? Well, this will get you really ready. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about your turkey silverware holder. I think I'm just going to call him Mr. Tom, right? So with the little turkey, you do want to cut out all of your pieces first. And in the instructions, we said you could use either flannel or felt. Felt is going to be a little bit easier, everybody. And I say a hi from Ohio. The pattern pieces, again, Monet is going to put the pattern pieces in the chat, so you will get the pattern pieces. So don't worry about that. She will have that for you. So again, you can either use flannel or felt. But this is what I want you to kind of realize about that is if you're using flannel, so our original one had, the flannel pieces in like the little feet down here and up in the body as well as the wings. You actually need two to cut out for each piece. You need two. So like for the feet, you need two for this foot and two for this foot. The reason why is you want the back to be pretty as well as the front. So you need two pieces. If you're working with felt, you only need one. So I kind of took the easy way out, everyone, and I did the felt, but it really is up to you. The other thing with felt is we're going to do some decorative stitching on the felt, which makes it really fun. So I like the felt. It's a little bit easier to work with. But again, up to you. If you have, now Michael's, of course, has got felt. They have fabrics in many of their stores. And if it's not in your local Michael's, it's online. So make sure you do check out all the, again, the felts, the fabrics, all that sort of stuff. If you happen to have some fabric at home that you just want to play around with, you can do that too. But don't hesitate. And remember, Michael's does have fabrics, so make sure you check out their fabrics, everybody. All right. So when you're cutting these out, you will need, pardon me, you're going to need your body. You're going to need the little beak. You're going to need, and I don't know how many of you know this. Many of you probably do. I'll look in the chat to see who knows this. Do you know what the little thing on the turkey is called? How many of you guys know that? I also have another person here helping us today. Her name is Carly. You're going to be seeing her. Yep, wattle. It's actually, yeah, you guys, really good. It's a wattle. And so we're all sitting here going, it's a weird name, I think. So anyway, so that's the wattle. And then you need to have 2 feet and 2 wings. So you're going to have 2 different wings, right? So you got 2 different wings. And then the last pieces you need is you're going to have a small little, come back to this guy, a small little set of feathers for the back. and then a larger set of feathers, all right? Now with the larger set of feathers, this is where I kind of found like the fabric is really super fun. So find some really fun fabrics. You're going to want to actually have, again, a front and a back for this. Okay, so you're going to want at least 2 pieces for this, and the rest, if you're using felt, just 1 of each. All right, so you guys good with that? Okay, so, and I'm really impressed because I had to look up what the name of it was. So I'm really impressed that you guys knew that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to switch cameras real quick and we'll get started with our sewing. And so if I come over here, I already have, now I'm using a Singer C5650 today. So I'm using one of our Singer computerized machines today. And one of the fun things about this is all the decorative stitches that you have to play around with. So this is really fun to check this out. Depending upon your machine, you can do all sorts of different things. So today I'm going to start though, because our beak and our wattle are so small. I'm just going to use a straight stitch for this. So a straight stitch on my machine here is just 0, 0. And I guess I could have showed you that. It's just set at 0, 0. I'm going to come back here for a minute. If the machine that you have has needle positions and you have never used needle positions before, this is a perfect time, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the beak on first. And when we put the beak on, I'm going to move my needle position a little bit over to the edge. So most of my sewing, most of my presser foot is going to be on the beak, and the needle is going to be able to be over to the edge. So this is a great time. Again, check out your machine. Our computer machines certainly have those needle positions. If you don't know, you can look in your manual, but check it out because the needle positions really work well for this. So let's come back here. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, everybody. And for any of you who have taken classes from me before, you know, sometimes I get a little crazy with the zoom. So, and I am, sorry about that. I did hit my camera for just a minute. So now you can kind of see this just a little bit. So I want you all to watch the needle. I'm going to start with the beak. I think in the instructions it said to put the wattle on first, to put this piece on first, but I like to put the beak and then I'm going to place this in the proper position. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start for my beak. I'm going to start right on the edge of just one of the straight edges of the beak with a straight stitch. But I want you to watch the needle because I'm gonna, can you see that moving? Just a little bit. You can just see it just a little bit. I'm moving the needle over just slightly. And so it's closer to the edge of the beak, but yet my presser foot is right on that edge. So use that needle position, everybody. If you have that, or if you're looking for a new machine, certainly take a look at one with needle positions. So one more stitch. Notice how I just kind of getting close to that edge, getting close to the end of the beak. Take that one more stitch. Can you see that? I hope my hand wasn't completely in the way. And here we go. So now up the other side. And take that needle down. Now, honestly, I just went a little bit too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot back. That's the beauty of this. And now I'm going to place it right where I want it to be. Let's turn. And then when I turn, again, you guys will go right around the edge of the beak. And I am just using my presser foot as my guide. If I get a little bit too far, I can always stop and put my needle down. And stop and turn. And I need one more stitch. There we go. All right. So step one, we've got our beak. I think he's so cute already. I just think he's so fun. I chose a contrasting thread. You can kind of see that I chose the orange because my fabric has a lot of this fun orange in it. So I chose a contrasting thread. If you would like, you could choose a thread that is the same color. It really is up to you all what you want to do for that. All right, so what you want to do. So now I'm going to put that the little wattle there. And, you know, it always works when you're on camera that you're going to catch something. I had my bobbin thread was caught around the foot, so you don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead, get this going. So you guys, can you see? This is actually a project that is fabulous for kids as well. You can have your kids, your grandkids, help cutting out, choosing the colors that you want your turkey to be. It is just a really fun project for any age. You hear me talking to myself. I got to come back to you guys. Is there anyone out there who ever talks to yourself when you're sewing? I see people in the room raising their hands, right? I know I do all the time. I went off a little bit on my wattles. So guess what? I'm telling myself, oh, that was really bad. But guess what? It's just fun. So that's okay. If you're, again, as a new sewist, as someone, as an experienced sewist, do not worry, because this is just a really fun little project for you to spend some time with family, do a little bit of fun. Oh, I didn't get off his goodness. All right, so there we go. Oh, and I didn't let you do, there we go. Step number one, we've got our beak and our wattle all in place. Now, here's the next thing that we want to do is we want to create the eyes for our turkey, all right? And there are many different ways to create the eyes for your turkey. I'm going to come over here. And one of the neat things on some of the computer machines is you have the ability to choose some of the decorative stitches. I've seen people use little stars for the turkey's eye. But what I like to use, if you can kind of see right there, it's actually, it's hard for you to see. It's right at the bottom of my screen. I don't want to do this too much. Let's see if I can. There we go. I think now I got a little glare, so I'll move it back up. Can you see stitch number 49? This is a little circle. So with stitch number 49, that's the stitch I'm going to choose. So I'm going to go to 40. We'll go up to 9. But I don't want it quite that wide, so I'm going to take my stitch width a little bit less. So if you can see that, I think you can see that. And now I'm going to move back up so you don't get that glare on the screen. There we go. So I've got a little bit, it's not going to be quite as wide a stitch. If you are, and you all who are here who have actually seen me a little bit, I'm always going to ask you questions. So how many out there are hand sewists and actually do cross stitching, that sort of thing? Is there anyone out there that is a hand sewist? The reason why I'm asking is, for me, I have to tell you, so did when I was younger. I tell you, I tried when I was younger. It never worked for me. So basically, I just think that hand is just not in my repertoire, right? So that's why if you like hand sewing, you could even do like little French knots for the eyes, or you could do little stars for the eyes. It really depends on what you're doing. What I'm going to do is I am going to change. So let's zoom out just a little bit here so you can see. And I am going to change, and I'm going to come up just slightly. I'm going to change colors, and I'm just going to use a black for my eyes on my little turkey, and pull my thread out like that. And then let's go ahead and put the thread right on my spool pin up here. And when I do that, I'll slide that spool cap right on. So that's easy to do. Depending upon your machine, I do like to use a spool cap if I say cross-wound spools. Do you guys understand what I mean by cross-wound spools? I'll just bring this up. See how the thread is actually crossed as it goes up and down? You really do need a spool cap when you're using a cross-wound spool, rather than some of the other brands have a straight wind to them. So it just depends on the type of thread and the style of thread that you're using. So with cross-wound spools, I have a little spool cap here. And I'm just going to follow the instructions. This is the beauty of a lot of our Singer machines. I'm not going to belabor this, but I do want you to realize that we do go just following the instructions. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is right here. So I have a catch right there. And if you are fortunate enough to have a machine that has a needle threader, I gotta tell you, you gotta get used to using it. So let's zoom back in. So I'm gonna zoom back in here. And I'm just gonna dip this back down so you can see. Just like this. Hopefully that'll be, there we go. I'm trying to go slow. With our C5650, here's my needle threader. I love this. We got to make sure that the needle is in the proper position, right? So when I bring this down, I always put my presser foot down also when I am threading the needle. Okay, so I always bring my presser foot down, make sure the needle's at the highest position. And then when I swing this around, this is like the best thing in the world. I always bring, can you all see that? I always bring my thread out here, but now I've got a little loop in that back, and oh my goodness gracious, that saves me so much time all the time, is using that needle threader. That is for me like, oh, I love it. So that is a really great thing. I am using, so Darlene asked about, I am using a different machine than I did for the Halloween costumes. So I do have the fortune of using many different Singer machines. So I like to expose you guys to different ones. The heavy duty is what I use for the Halloween costumes, whereas this one is one of our other Singer computer machines. That's a great machine. So it just really depends a little bit on what you need. So you can always look up online and see all the different models, do comparisons, that sort of thing. But it is a little bit different machine than what I had for the costumes. So by the way, thank you for coming back to visit with us today. So let's go ahead. And all I'm going to do, I am going to start at the beak and place, so I'm just starting at the beak. And then, yep, we're there. Going to put that needle down to make sure I'm in the right position. And I want to watch, and I want to make sure that I'm going to come to the end of my eye and stop. So there's my first little eye. So I know it's hard. Oh, it is really hard to see with the black, but there we go. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. Maybe not. There we go. There you can see it. So I'm just putting one eye in, and then I'm going to come back and do the other eye. Just again, right on top of the beak. And I love being able to use my machine to be able to do this. So now I have, now my little turkey has eyes. So again, a little hard to see, but hopefully you can kind of get there. You can see that the eyes are right there. So now that that I have this little piece done, right? So I've got my, oh goodness, I have my beak, I've got my wattle, I've got the eyes. We're ready to do actually I call them the arms, but the wings. And so with the wings, what you want to make sure you do, we're going to prep the wings before we put them on. So we're going to prep the wings before we put them on. So see how they're kind of hooked together a little bit. And with this one, again, maybe this will give us a little bit closer view. There you go. That's much better for you. So with this, because we use flannel, we put two pieces together, and that's what that straight stitch is there. Well, because what I want to do is I'm using fleece, I'm going to play around. So I'm going to decorate my wings before I actually do any construction with them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change back to my orange thread because that's a little more festive. You saw me thread this before, so I'm going to go ahead and just thread it really fast for us. I know I'm close in on the screen for you guys, but again, it's just really super easy. Bring that presser foot down, bring my needle to the best position and use that needle threader. I can't live without my needle threader. Well, I can, but it takes me a lot longer to thread a needle than that's for sure. And so now let's go to and check out our stitches for a minute. Okay, so let's check out our stitches. There is this really cute stitch. It's stitch number 33. We actually call it a chicken scratch or a little chicken foot stitch. So that's what we're actually going to use today. So I'm just going to choose stitch number 33. But because my pieces are a little bit smaller, I'm going to, again, I'm just going to play around. I'm going to adjust my stitch width just a little bit less. And we're ready to sew. So all I'm going to do is go around the edge here. And if I can get in even a little bit closer, let's see if we can get in super close for you guys here today. And I know this is kind of makes you woozy, I get it, but oh, that really made you woozy. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead. And all I'm doing is I am going around the edge, and can you kind of see from the back? It's just a really cute stitch. I'll be fast. I'll get to this edge and put the needle down and then do my turn. And then put my needle down and do my turn again. And now can you kind of see, isn't that a cute little stitch? I just love that stitch. Right. So now I'm all decorated. And isn't that fun? It really is fun to be able to do all these little decorative stitches. So you don't have to use this one, but certainly, you know, this is a fun one to use, but you could use any of your decorative stitches. And, you know, Monet, I have just been talking. Have there been any questions for me, or are we doing okay?
I believe we are doing okay. No questions at this moment.
All right, all right. So if you do have questions, I always forget to ask because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm sewing, I get in like a routine and I'm going. So if you have questions, certainly ask. Put them in the chat. Monet will ask me if I miss them when I'm going along. But hopefully you're seeing how quick, easy, fun. Again, you can get your grandkids, kids involved, that sort of thing. So please, if you have any questions, certainly ask. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go back to our machine here and we'll zoom out just a little bit.
Someone asked, could you show the wings?
Yeah, I will show the wings again, please. Yes, certainly. Thank you, Monet. I was anticipating, I saw it just pop up. So here is the wing again. And what we're going to end up doing is all I'm going to do is that They're two of the same. I'm not going to take the time to decorate this side, but now what we will do is we're going to create basically the holder. We come back here. So we're going to create the holder for our cutlery or our, silverware, whatever you want to call it. So, or plasticware for that matter. That's a easy way to do Thanksgiving. So all we're going to do is a little zigzag stitch here. So you're going to take your two wings, and just place them together like that. And we're just going to do a small zigzag stitch over the edge. Okay, so we're going to do a small zigzag stitch. So able to see that a little bit better for the wings? Hopefully that was good for you, Kathy. You could see that a little bit better. And with the zigzag, stitch number 3 on my machine. And then with this one, I want the stitch length. So stitch length is going to come closer together. So that's going to hold my wing together. And you know what, I should do this. So make sure I do this for you. I want to make sure that these are that the wings are going to fit on my body. So I want to make sure next. There really isn't that critical, but the wings do fit one direction a little bit better than the other. So there we go. Can you all see that? So I'm just going to make sure that this is crossed properly with my body. So yeah, hopefully you can see that. And then we're just going to do a little zigzag stitch. And if you did not want your zigzag stitch to show, I should have made my width a little bit less too. So length and width, just a little bit less. If you didn't want that to show, you could use a stitch, or excuse me, a thread that's the same color as your wings, but I'm okay with it showing because I think, our little Mr. Turkey here, he likes to show off his colors. So there we go. Just put that zigzag stitch right together with that. All right. So this is what we're going to end up doing, right? So we're going to have this. So are there any questions at this point? Because I say one last little thing. This is the fun part, everybody. Okay, so this is the fun part. You can decorate as much or as little as you want. So if you're happy with your feathers just being, either the fleece or the felt just as is, that's great. Same with the feet. It really is completely up to you. I'm going to go back to that little chicken scratch or that little stitch that I used before. And I'm just going to run this down my foot, down the middle of the foot. And when I run that down the lip, isn't that cute? So again, cute little stitch. You can do that. And I did not decorate my other feathers, but I want to share with you. This is also, and probably should have changed thread color, but I'm going to go down each of my feathers with that same little stitch. So again, you're going to get a little decoration. Now, if you want to be really super, super practical about this, the body's going to cover up a lot of it. So the body's going to cover up a lot of it, right? So you're just going to do the pieces that you would see. So let's say we want to do a different stitch. I'm just going to choose a little stitch number 15. You hear all the beeping in the background. Now, let me just quickly show you. Stitch number 15, it looks like, again, almost like a little cross stitch. So I'm going to choose that one. Come back here. And here we go. So all of those decorative stitches, everybody, that we rarely use, now is our time to have a lot of fun with them. So use your decorative stitches, have some fun, do some decorating. This is a great time to do that, okay? So we're now ready to put our turkey all the way together, which is actually pretty, it's not only is it very easy, so it is a simple thing to do, but it is, it's super fast as well. Now, I'm back here. And what I did is I had this guy all kind of prepared for us, right? So I've got another set. I actually did a whole different color for the body because I thought, you know, turkeys are many different colors. So instead of brown, I used kind of a reddish color. I thought that was pretty. But for the main tail fabric, so in this case, in our instruction, you see you've got like, it's almost like a little gingham, a real pretty checkerboard with the red and white. For my other piece, I found this, I thought this was fabulous fabric. It just bright colors, makes everything happy and cheery. So that is really very fun. But this fabric that I found at home, and you can find, again, lots of different fabrics at Michael's that you can do this. I'm going to come back. I always like to talk to you guys. How many of you know what fussy cutting is? How many of you are quilters that know the word fussy cutting? No idea. Okay. Lots of, you know, it is. Yes. Okay. So Tina does. Fussy cutting is, and pardon me, I'm just going to reach down in my little bag of tricks here because I've got all my extra stuff down here. And what fussy cutting is let's say you have a really cool piece of fabric. Okay, so a really cool piece of fabric. Like this was, I thought, a really cool piece of fabric. And then what I did is I'm like, oh, I need tail feathers. Look at what I did. I found a specific spot in this fabric that had what looked to me like tail feathers. So fussy cutting is, you know, taking your, basically we're taking our template here, putting it on our piece of fabric and finding a perfect place so it'll look really cool with whatever you're doing. So in our case, it was the tail feathers for me. In sometimes when you quilt or when you do applique, you fussy cut around a little piece and it actually just really makes it levels up what you're doing, right? So I fussy cut my tail feathers here. And because I did that, what I also found, and this is where you guys can do whatever you want, right? So you don't have to do everything exactly as the instructions, because when I put my extra piece on here, I lost all that cool fabric, right? So my fussy cutting didn't mean anything. So guess what? I'm like, nope, I'm going to take that away. And now look at that. Doesn't that look much nicer without that other piece? So it all depends on your fabric, but if you're going to take the time and effort to do a little cutting and choosing the proper look for your tail feathers for your turkey, guess what? You want to make sure that that shows it off. So I'm not going to put this piece on. If I was doing this as the instructions tell me, here's the thing, guys, is I like to use a piece of, it's a tearaway stabilizer. So this is a tearaway stabilizer. For those of you who maybe are embroiderers, work with our 9180, or if you do a lot of applique, you know what this is. But Michael's carries all sorts, and it's just a stabilizer that you can see how that kind of tears. So it is a tearaway stabilizer. So I'm going to set this, my tail feathers on that first. Then what I'm going to do is, and I know I just set that down, but now I'm just going to construct my little turkey. So my feet go underneath. So feet go under there, right? And then my wings will go here. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew all the way around. And it's gonna catch the feet, I'm gonna catch the wings. And we're gonna put this all together, and then when I get done, the tearaway will go away. All right, so now is the time to construct your turkey. And I am just gonna use a straight stitch for this, just a normal straight stitch. So a normal straight stitch to go around the edges. However, if you want to get a little wild and crazy, you could do a zigzag stitch. You could do this little extra stitch. It really doesn't matter. This is the fun part of creating, right? And making all these great fun projects. So I'm just going to start along this edge. And you know what? I know I'm going to change, I'm changing threads a few different times today. And the main reason I want to do this is I used a little bit different color of thread for this particular turkey. And I want to kind of stick with that because this is the one I'm going to give my sister this, by the way. So she's going to get one turkey for her Thanksgiving table. She won't get all of them, but she'll get one. So I want to keep the color scheme going for that. All right, so get this down into this area. Remember, we've already learned the beauty of the needle threader. So I'm just going to use that needle threader really quick. And again, just making sure the needle is in the proper position for my threader to swing into place. There we go. All right, in there. So now that I have that in right there, again, make sure I have my just normal straight stitch. And any questions, Monet, for anything that's going on right now?
No questions at the moment.
All right. Are you guys enjoying this little crafty? I think this is a real crafty little thing. Are you guys enjoying this? Are you having a little bit of fun playing around with thinking about what all you can do actually for your turkeys at home? I hope so.
I see some yes.
Oh, good, good, good. All right. And I said your turkeys at home. I don't mean your family, everybody. So that was a joke. That was a joke. All right. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. Keep on going, just along the way. If you notice, when I do get to kind of this area here, I am bringing my presser foot up, so my wing is not like caught up underneath. So I want to make sure I do that. This edge. And what you're going to find is that stabilizer is really helping me keep everything nice and even as I'm going along. The other thing I hope you're noticing with our Singer C5650, so with our machine that I'm using today, I am having I'm not having to really, I call it driving. Notice I'm kind of keeping my hands off, just barely guiding, which is fabulous. I love that with this particular model. So it's really nice that way. So there we go. And I am going to just trim up my wings on this edge just a little bit. All right, we're almost done. Isn't he cute? I love, so last year when I did some things for Michael's, I ended up doing them for all my family. So I have to admit, I may be doing more turkeys this year than I was expecting to do. Notice the tear away, I'm just tearing that away. All right, so tearing this away. the fabric actually, or excuse me, the stitching is actually perforating the tearaway. So that's why it comes off really easily, but you do want to take a little care. Notice I'm not just ripping, I am taking a little care and pulling this right through. All right, so there's our little turkey. We're almost finished. And when I say we're almost finished, there is one other step. So there's one more step. And that step actually has to do with the back piece. All right, so this has to do with, I'm going to put a back piece on the back here. So I have the back piece on the back. So what we're going to do is there are some very cool types of stabilizer and sticky sorts of things out there. And this is an iron-on fusible web, actually. So it's a fusible web. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my iron here. And I don't know. And I'm probably doing something really bad right now. Can you guys see? Oh, you can only see my hand. It's not cool. Now you can see the iron. All I'm doing is I'm pressing this fusible web. It has a paper backing and my iron actually just went off. So of course, the beauty of being on live, but what happens is the fusible web actually adheres to the fabric. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you exactly today. But once it adheres to the fabric, on this side too. I gotta let it cool just a little bit. I don't know, like I said, I don't know. I'm struggling a bit today with this, guys, so sorry about that. So it's not, my iron is doing weird stuff. I'm actually not the iron. We always blame it on something like iron, right? Let's try it one more time. If not, basically that fusible web, once it's on there, I'm willing this to happen so we can see how this is going to work. So let's see. Let's see if it does. If not, with the fusible web, I'm being too quick, I think. There we go. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that. See how the paper is actually coming off. And this is a sticky fusible web. And again, Michaels has this. So now that you have that paper off, the cool part is, so I've still got this piece. I'm going to come back to my little turkey here with the fabulous fussy cut little piece. I'm going to turn this over. And the beauty of this is it's going to go right on this back piece. And because it's a little sticky, I'm going to make it, okay, this will be the last one. Because it's sticky, now it's going to hold on to that. See that? So now I'm covering up all of my stitches, but because also it is fusible, the beauty is now when we press this, it's going to fuse it together. So it'll hold it all together. Any stitching that you didn't like on the back, guess what? You're not going to see it. Whoops, where am I? There we go. You're not going to see it, right? So now it's fused, and then you're just, and I'm not going to do this for us today because you guys have seen me sewing enough, but you can see on this little piece, you can go back in and you can stitch around the edges, right? So you can stitch around those edges. But I am so thrilled. I think he's so cute. I think it is a fun little project to work with. So I just use a straight stitch to go around those outside edges. And again, you don't need to see me doing that. You can see what a straight stitch will do. But isn't this a fun, great project? And Again, depending upon your machine, one of the machines I think I used last week had, if your computer machine has lettering on it, and that might be, again, something you want to check out because the lettering on some of our Singer machines is great. You could even put someone's name on this, right? And then they could take it home with them as a little parting gift from your holiday table. So lots of fun things. So are there any questions? I'm kind of looking here. I'm seeing, everybody, I think it is a fun, easy project to work with. How many of you, I see a lot of you think it's really cute, but how many of you are going to run right out, go to Michael's, get all your stuff, and then go back and make these? I am. I'm doing more. I've got my bag of all my Michael's stuff. So make sure that you guys get all the project stuff is in there. Are there any other questions for me? Because this easy project to work with, I'm so thrilled. And I actually loved doing, using that special fabric, using that one piece that made this little tom turkey a little bit different. So any other questions for me? See someone this weekend. Very good. I'm glad you're going to go out and do that. Anything else? Anybody? Monet, do we have any other questions coming on that I missed?
I'm not seeing any questions.
All right. Well, we're ending slightly early, but not that early. So it's just about 8 minutes left. So guys, I'm going to give you that moment back. I hope you had fun today making our festive fall turkey holder. And please join us. Actually, next week, I believe we're doing a temperature quilt. Singer Claire from our Canadian team is going to be doing a temperature quilt. I think that's next week. In December, we're going to do some decorating on a denim jacket. And then I'm going to come back at the middle of December to do these fun little, I call them bottle garters. I don't know, again, I have a thing going on with festive tables, right? But if you ever have a party or even a small group of people in your home and they all have bottles of water and they all look the same. So instead of getting out that marker, make yourself some of these cute little garters. They go around the edge. We're going to talk rolled edge on a serger. We're going to talk buttons and buttonholes, doing that with your sewing machine and adding elastic. So everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Great to have you with us and enjoy the rest of your week.